Now, I watched Godzilla vs. Kong on opening night of March 31st. And before I say anything, I waited till this day to make sure that everyone has seen it before, and this will be a spoiler review, so there will be spoilers, and if you have not watched it yet, try and watch it. I don't care how you watch it, whether it be in theaters, HBO Max, pirating it online, whatever. Just if you don't want spoilers, don't watch this. So, the movie overall was really, really, really good. A lot better than Godzilla 2014. It was a little bit better than Godzilla King of the Monsters. I really liked how every monster you could see clearly. Not even Godzilla King of the Monsters had 100% clear shots of the monsters themselves fighting. I mean, the first fight took place in the middle of the night in a snowstorm, so that's something. Anyways, with Godzilla vs. Kong, none of that. You can see all the action, even if it's night. But, like, choosing the battle setting to be Hong Kong is genius, because even if it was at night, you could still see them because of the glow of the buildings around them. Hong Kong is like one of the most neon colored cities out there, like brightly colored cities. So having a fight in Hong Kong at night is visually spectacular. I mean, all of the fights were great. The fight between Godzilla and Mechagodzilla, the fight between Godzilla and King Kong, both of them, even the fight between King Kong and the Warbats, the fight, if you could call it that, between Mechagodzilla and the Skullcrawler. That was amazing. And they really showed Mechagodzilla as a force to be reckoned with by showing how powerful he was, even when not in full capacity of strength. I mean, they had a Skullcrawler like 5 times the size of the one that Kong fought in Kong Skull Island. And he got literally bisected by Mechagodzilla. Just a laser cutting it down the middle. That was the most badass scene for me. And when Godzilla got his ass handed to him by Mechagodzilla, that was one of the craziest fights ever. If I had to rate the fights in Godzilla vs. Kong, I would say the fight between Kong and the Warbats is last on the list. And then the first fight between Godzilla and King Kong on the boat, that had to be higher. Then the fight between Godzilla and Mechagodzilla. Then the fight between Godzilla and King Kong and Hong Kong. And then the fight where Godzilla and King Kong Tag Team Mecha Godzilla. That's my rating of the fights in the movie. I really hope they continue making these movies because not only did it drive forward the plot of the human characters, but it did with the monster characters as well. The monster characters weren't just some cool set pieces for the action. They were treated like actual characters with actual character arcs. Even I think Godzilla went through a character arc because I think that fight where Godzilla fought Mechagodzilla kind of taught him that he's not as badass as he thought he was. And that it kind of taught him that even he needs help sometimes, as evidenced by, Mechagodzilla almost killing Godzilla. And Kong went through the arc that sometimes he's not the biggest guy around, and that it's better to make friends than to fight them. If you can't handle them in a fight, it's better to make friends with them. That's the arc. Also, Kong discovering his whole past in the Hollow Earth. That was amazing. Let's see, what else should I? Okay, some of the human characters I didn't like. That's something. I thought Josh was annoying. He just looks like a lamer version of me with a New Zealand accent. And I think he's quite, stereotypical in the sense, he's supposed to be the reasoning voice that every single duo of miners have. There's always the reckless one that takes a chance and gets in trouble, and then there's always the one that plays it safe. And they're usually the smart nerdy type as well. That is also the voice of reasoning. But the deaf girl and her mother, that I liked the dynamic between them, even though it was kind of underdeveloped a bit. Same with the dynamic between the deaf girl and King Kong. That was a really good way of showing how she has spent years with him and developed a bond between them to the point where Kong trusts only her, and the only way he'll listen to others is if she has, the only way he'll listen to others is if she trusts them. The conspiracy theorist guy, I did like him. He was a pretty good character. Though I think they could have played up his conspiracy theorist thing a bit more, to make him stand out a lot more. Stuff like, his theory about Apex Industries, Apex Robotics was right, but all his other theories are wrong. See? I liked the Hollow Earth scientist who lost his brother, which they could have touched upon his brother's death even more, so that his motivation was even better. And he did serve a purpose to the plot. You know, he wasn't totally useless. He helped jumpstart King Kong's heart after his battle with Godzilla. I wish that Millie Bobby Brown's father's character, you know, the father of the girl from Godzilla King of the Monsters, played more of a role. I wish he played more of a role, like maybe he realized she escaped from her house and was going to see the conspiracy theorist guy, and he tried to follow her. And along the way, he finds why Godzilla is attacking. And he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I was wrong. You were right, you know. I kind of, wish that the girl's father had more of a role. I do also like the CGI. The CGI was great. The effects were awesome. I do think the monsters moved a bit too quickly for their size. Like, Godzilla full-on sprinted at Mechagodzilla during their fight. And I just think that if they were a bit slower, then the hits would have more impact and would show how huge they are and how strong they are compared to each other. But they do get the personality of the monsters across by the animation as well. Like when Godzilla was dragging King Kong under the ocean, literally wrapping his tail around King Kong's body. It's like, not letting you go. Like, even that shows personality. We know Godzilla ain't playing when he wraps his tail around Kong and drags him under into a trench under the water. And the only way Kong could have escaped was because the boat used depth charges to disorient Godzilla. But yeah, Godzilla vs. Kong was a great movie, and I loved it. And if I could, I'd watch it again. And if I could, I'd play it to everyone who hasn't seen it and likes giant monster movies. And if I could, I would convince someone who doesn't like giant monster movies to see what they're missing with Godzilla vs. Kong. So anyway, that's my review of Godzilla vs. Kong. See ya.